Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Dom from the Nextmen here, and today I'm going to make a new Nextmen record and bring you guys along with me for the entire creative process. We're going to make the track, mix the track, master the track and release the track, and then I'll make the parts available so if you want to have a muck about with them, you can. We're going to use 4 pieces of hardware to make the beat, so all of the sounds will come from external sources. We're going to use a Novation Peak, a Sequential Prophet 5, an LA Audio Classic Compressor 2, and for the drums we're going to use an EMU E6400 from about 200 years ago, but only if I can persuade it to switch on.
Come on. No. Come on, man. Come on. Let's do it for old time's sake. No? Okay, once more, once more. Come on, man. I've got some really nice drums to put in you. Oh. Yes! Oh. I'm gonna need to go to bed soon. Come on, come on.
Not the best start, but finally I got it to work. So that did take a while getting the sounds I want into the sampler, but now we've got a kick, we've got a clap, another clap, another clap, and a little hi-hat thing. Button's well dodgy. The E6400 is midied up and I've put the samples I just played you on the keys. I've played in a kick pattern and it sounds like this. And here's the snare. Here are the hi-hats, they're looping at half a beat. And all together they sound like this. Nice. Right, now you can hear the hi-hats, right? And they're quite militant and dominant. We don't want that. We want them to dance around the beat a bit, dance around the kick drum. And rather than do that with volume, I'm going to use the outboard compressor to sidechain the hi-hats to the kick drum as a trigger, which means when the kick drum hits, it pulls a little hole in the volume of the hi-hats. Okay, so what we're listening to now is the hi-hats without the compressor inserted. And in Logic, I'm going to switch it to the channel that this compressor is working on. Now you can see and hear what it's doing. It's reacting to the kick drums and making the hi-hats kind of pump. Much nicer. Okay, so the MIDI part of this process with the drums is now over. I've recorded in all the individual parts from the EMU. And you've got the kick at the top in blue, the compressed hats under it, 2 snares rolling together, and then the offbeats. All sounding very nice. Right, it's time for some bass. Let's take it to the Prophet. Okay, so the drums are cooking now, and what we're going to do is find a good root note for the drums, because even drums have a key, if you like. There'll be certain root notes that feel better within it than others. So let's muck about. That C sounds really nice within the beat. It sounds like the drums are kind of rooted in C. So we're in C minor, and we have available to us, but we're not going to stick to that. We're going to use a flattened second, if you like. This D flat, because it makes everything a bit meaner. We could just use the C minor triad, but that is boring and we don't want to do that. So we're going to use the C, the D flat, the minor third, E flat, and the fourth, and F, and it's going to sound much better than if we just used the notes which are strictly within C minor. Let's try it out. Lovely. Okay, so I ended up using that very bass line and finding a sound on the Prophet 5 that I liked by twiddling some knobs, and it sounds like this. It's got that nice kind of alive analog sound. And I didn't use any MIDI, I just recorded me playing it over the beat. So there are timing errors and stuff, but I'm going to leave them because it sounds natural. Here it is in the beat. Okay, so we want nice rumbling bass in this track, and we're going to make an 808 style kick drum for that. We're going to make it ourselves in the Novation Peak. I don't really like to use stock sounds because they get a bit boring. So we're going to start by initializing the patch. At the moment it's set to sawtooth. We've got oscillator 1 full volume, the other's down. We want a softer sound, so we're going to turn it into a sine wave. We want the amp envelope to have no attack, plenty of decay and a bit of release. And you can already hear that kind of 808 style coming. Lovely. We want some mod envelope 2. Switch this to 2. Which gives us a kind of like attack at the front of the sound. Oh, that sounds lovely. And then we're going to put a bit of post drive on it. Bit more release. And then some distortion. And some overdrive. And then we're going to play the same bass line. Okay, so I played that sound we made on the Peak and recorded it in. Sounds nice. Play it with the Prophet. And the drums. Yes, rumbling. Right, now we need some pads. Back to the Prophet. Okay, so to write our pads, we're not going to use the sound we'll end up with. I'm just going to use this piano. It's one of the Logic electric piano plugins, and we're going to use this just to get the notes right, basically. Okay, let's write the pads. So I've come up with this. It sounds really nice, I think. There's something a bit interesting about it, which I'll explain in a minute. But it's going to sound like this. Which sounds really nice. Interestingly, I'm putting an E in it. Now we were in C minor with that kind of flattened second before. And now, because I'm putting a major third in it, alongside the minor third, which is in the rest of the track, we end up with something called a split third chord. And it just makes things sound interesting, because now we're going to have all of those notes are in this track. So it's kind of a bit keyless, but it makes things swirl a bit and sounds good. So now what we need to do is play that in and then find a nice pad sound on the Prophet that we're actually going to use in the track. Okay, so I twiddled some knobs on the Prophet 5, played in that thing that I played in on the electric piano, and I've come up with this. there are points when you're making a beat where you feel really good about it and think this is actually going to be a really good beat. And it's putting that in that has done that today. So let's hear it in context. Oh, yeah! Right, we are cooking with gas. It's time for a B section. Okay, so we're taking it back to just an electric piano to write a new little line for the B section. The B section being the bit that's going to come before the choruses, basically. I've come up with this thing. It's a little bit quirky, but I like it. It goes like this. Now, obviously, we're not going to use a piano. We're going to go back to the peak, and I think we should create a sort of acidic sound, like a 303. Okay, so I played that sound in as MIDI on the piano, and now we're getting it to play the Novation Peak. I'll initialize the patch so that we're starting afresh. We want one oscillator. And that's how it sounds without doing anything. We're going to make the voice monophonic. We're going to add a bit of glide. And now we're going to mess with the frequency, the low pass. Make sure we've just got sustain here. Envelope depth. And that is about it. That's the sound I want. Okay, so I've put it in. I ended up pitching it down 1 octave and it sounds like this. Nice. Okay, so here's how it sounds coming out of the main bit that we already had going into this new B section. I took the hi-hats out and it feels really good both after and before the main bit. It's going to take us right back in. Yeah. Okay, now we need something mad in the track to bring mad energy to a certain point in it. So I've gone back to the Prophet and I've built this sound. And I'm going to play this. Okay, so I've recorded that in. I tweaked it a little bit, but it's the same mad sound really. And this is how it sounds in the track. Okay, so I went a bit mad at the end, but that's what I played and that's what we're getting. Everything's sounding really good now. The track is sounding really compact and feisty, which is what we want. Let's move on to the next bit. Okay, so everything's sounding even better now. I went back to the peak and used one of its presets, a sort of bell sound, because I decided that that little acidic line in our B section needed a friend. And now it's got one. It sounds like this. Wicked. There's loads of kind of discordant stuff going on in the track, but I love it. That thing will probably only come in at the end, I'm going to guess. Right. What do we need now? A vocal. Okay, so we need a vocal and there's no singer here, and you do not want me to try and sing on this track. So I'm going to shamelessly go and use a sample pack, like an R&B vocalist pack, and go through various bits and pieces and see what I can make fit. The drawback, of course, is someone else might have used it or could use it. Frankly, I don't care. If it sounds good, it sounds good, and that's the sort of track we're making today. So I'm going to look through some things, see what we come up with, and try a few things out and see if we can make something that's actually good. Not passable, it's got to be good. It's got to work within the track really, really well. I'll be with you in a minute. Okay, so I went through countless things and I found something that really could work. It's from a vocal sample pack called Come Through Jersey Drill and R&B sample pack by 91 Vocals. Credit where credit is due if we end up using it. Let's just muck about with it. I want something that I have to change so that we've achieved something, because we're just taking this vocal. I mean, it is just sampling, but I want something we can pitch around a bit and stuff. So I found this vocal.
The way you move, like your hips not connected to you, drive me crazy, so mad over you. Over you.
So there's probably bits of it I will use and bits of it I won't, and we've got to pitch her down because that's in D minor and we're in C. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, so I took that bit and pitched her down 2 semitones down into C from D, and it's added something really nice. It sounds kind of artificial, but I like it. This is how it sounds in the track.
The way you move, like your hips don't connect to you, drive me crazy, so mad over you.
Change the phrasing.
And what you do, soon as you step and you enter the room, make everybody so mad over you. Over you.
Wicked. That sounds really good. It sounds like someone wrote it over the track. I'm happy with that. So let's find some other bits. Okay, I found a bit that can work in the B section. Here it is.
I just need my space, baby. Time to contemplate things. I'll be okay.
I think she might say, I just need my space face. But we can't change it. That's what we're using. In the track, it sounds like this.
I just need my space, baby. Time to contemplate things. I'll be okay.
Wicked. She was in A sharp minor and I've had to pitch her around a lot. And again, it sounds really artificial, but I like that. I really like what's happening in this track. I think every sound we've put in so far, including the vocal, is working really well. Now let's look at chorus parts. Okay, the chorus part I found is working. Here we go, same thing. I had to pitch her down 2 semitones and it's given her that artificial sound and obviously changed the tempo. But it sounds good.
I just need my space, baby. Time to contemplate things. I'll be okay. Give me what I really want, everything I've been searching for. Love you, you make it easy to. It's so deep, I drown in you. I'll always be the one who's loving you, you make it easy to.
That is a chorus. Okay, so we've got our verses. They're going to be the same every time. Same verse every time, and I like that. We've got our chorus vocal in. They both sound like they've been manipulated. I like that. And then in our mad bit, I found this little vocal. It's just a tiny ad-lib. She says foolish.
Foolish.
Now, I really like this over the mad bit because the mad bit is mad. And something coming in that kind of settles that down a bit is a really nice idea. So I put her in on top of that and it sounds like this. And that little I'll be okay bit, which is from the bit we used in the B section, the pre.
I'll be okay.
So that is now appearing in the mad bit. And I also think I'll Be Okay will probably be the name of the track. Things are working out. Okay, it's time to arrange it. The only thing I've added since we last spoke is a crash cymbal, which I put into the EMU, which is still on. And I had to use that because we're only using outboard. So I think it should begin with the drums. And her phrasing is interesting because she starts so late. And I like the way it happens though.
The way you move, like your hips don't connect to you. You got me crazy, so mad over you.
Okay, good. So we're going intro, verse 1, pre-chorus, verse 2, pre-chorus, pre-mad bit, pre-verse 3, pre-chorus, pre-mad bit, outro. Not sure how to do the outro yet. This is after the last bit, the mad bit. Could do that and then just end with the drums, which is very DJ friendly. Let's have a look at the mix. Okay, so the mix. Now I'm going to let the drums dictate the mix because they came out of the E6400 sounding wicked, and I've done nothing to them apart from a tiny bit of EQ on the drum bus. I'm leaving them kind of cold as they were, and I'm going to mix the rest of the track around them. They will dictate how everything else sounds in the track, and everything else is going to have to sound like it belongs with the drums. So let's talk about the fact that there's basically no reverb or delay in this track apart from that one bit. It sounds good.
You give me what I really want, everything I've been searching for. Loving you.
Dry as a bone. And it imparts a kind of honesty to the vocal. Just dry like that. If someone was singing in your ear, there wouldn't be loads of reverb and delays on it, would there? Now, we need to talk about making space for each element, which is obviously the purpose of a mix, to give each element in the track its own space so that things aren't trampling all over each other. Now, I've done some of that, but I haven't done much. If we look at the vocal, the verse vocal versus the Prophet 5 pads.
And what you do, the way you move, like your hips don't connect to you, and drive me crazy.
They definitely share some frequencies, so I've done a little bit of a tuck in the pads. So between 2 and 300 and 4 and 500, little dips, which give her a little bit more space. By the way, I'm monitoring on Focal Trio 6BEs and Yamaha NS-10s with a Yamaha amp, which is what we're listening to now. And the NS-10s just save time. There's no better monitor for judging the level of each part in a mix. They just save time. You know exactly what's too loud when you put it on NS-10s. So yeah, not much separation. A bit, not much in this track. Okay, an area where you can't get away with no separation is kick and bass if they play together. In an ideal world, you produce a track where your bass line never lands where the kick does. Then you are laughing. But when they do land together, and they do in this, you need to do a bit of work to make sure that the bass isn't, you know, muffling your kick drum and causing all kinds of problems with too much bass hitting every time. So in this, I've done something very simple. I took the 808 bass that we got from the Peak, and I put a compressor on it, and it's triggered by the kick, like we did with the hi-hats, and it just puts a hole in the bass every time a kick drum hits. I didn't use multiband compression, just straight up clumsy volume compression, so it just puts a nice hole in the bass when the kick drum hits. There's a lot of issues down at the low end when it comes to mixing. It's always the problem. It's in the production. If you produce well, you're going to mix well. This is the thing. If you produce a turd, and then you mix it with loads of flash plugins and hardware, you're just going to end up with a shiny turd, which is arguably worse than a non-shiny turd. So I've reached a point in making this track that all of us producers laugh about all the time, which is I'm making 0.5 dB changes to things which no one is ever going to notice. Once you're doing that and you're generally happy, it's done. Right, it's late now. And guess what? I'm still turning things up and down by 0.5 dB. Right, now it's really, really late. I'm knackered. Got to get up and be a parent in the morning. So I'm going to turn everything off. Except the sampler. See you tomorrow. Good morning, humans of the internet. I got some sleep, not much, but that's how it goes when you're deep in creation. Dropped my daughter off at school and I'm back. Now last night, about 2 in the morning, I made one change to the track which made it really come to life. It was already buzzing. I tucked away a little bit of the mid-range in the main Prophet 5 synth, this one. I tucked away just a tiny bit of mids to make a bit more room for the singer. Let's go from here.
Loving you, you make it easy to. And what you do, the way you move, like your hips don't connected to you. Drive me crazy, so mad over you.
It sounds sick.
Enter the room, make everybody so mad over you. Over you.
I just need my space.
Right, here comes second chorus. Let's check it.
Time to contemplate things. I'll be
You
okay.
give me what I really want, everything I've been searching for. Loving you, you make it easy to. It's
Oh
something.
my God, this is making me so happy. You wait till you hear this. Okay, let's take a look at what I put on the master. It's very simple. So a little duck around there, between 100 and 200. Hard shelf drop right down at 30, and a tiny bit of air at the top. UAD Shadow Hills compressor. It's nice and direct. Just a bit of discrete compression on there, not much. It's just kind of kissing the mix, that. And then I was looking for resonant frequencies, and there was, when I took some of them out, the track just died. So I've just done one tiny one around 6K, just ducked it a bit. And that, oh, there's the spectrum analysis of the track. It's pretty fat. Anyway, yeah, not much on the master. Sounds great. And before I forget, if you haven't checked our Twitch live stream out, it's every Friday, right here from the loft, 7 PM UK time. Great community, great music. Come join in the fun. Okay, it's finished. It's done. Mixed and mastered. I settled on a very forward vocal sound, which I like generally in tracks, but the singer is like right in front of your face, which is great, because when it gets to the chorus, she needs to arrive, and she does. It's ready to go. I'm now going to attempt a screen capture of the whole session in Logic, playing with the audio, the HD audio, because you've been listening to it through my phone speaker. Sorry about that. You might have to zoom in a bit because this is portrait, and also I'll put the screen capture up on YouTube in 16:9 so you can really have a look at what's going on in the session. I'll move around the plugins, show you what's on it. But yeah, enjoy the track. I'm going to release it on Bandcamp first along with the parts, and then it will be available for streaming. Thanks for coming along with me. This has been great fun. I'm looking forward to doing the next one. See you soon.
you enter the room. Make everybody so mad over you. Over you.
I just need my space, baby. Time to contemplate things. I'll be okay.
You give me what I really want, everything I've been searching for. Loving you, you make it easy to. In so deep I drown in you. I'll always be the one who's loving you, you make it easy to. And what you do, the way you move, like your hips no connected to you, drive me crazy, so mad over you. And what you do, soon as you step and you enter the room, make everybody so mad over you. Over you.
I just need my space, baby. Time to contemplate things. I'll be
You give
okay.
me what I really want, everything I've been searching for. Loving you, you make it easy to. In so deep I drown in you. I'll always be the one who's loving you, you make it easy to. You give me what I really want, everything I've been searching for. Loving you, you make it easy to.
I just need my space, baby. Time to contemplate things. I'll be okay.
The way you move, like your hips no connected to you, drive me crazy, so mad over you. And what you do, soon as you step and you enter the room, make everybody so